just watched The Long Walk, and honestly, this might be one of the greatest movies I have ever seen. On the surface, it looks like it's just about a walking competition, but underneath that, it's about perseverance, fear, love, sacrifice, and what humans can become when survival is on the line. I learned a lot from this movie, and in this video, I want to share 5 life lessons that really stuck with me. Number 1, the real power of friendship. Everything began when Ray introduced himself to Pete at the start of the movie. That simple moment sparked something real. A genuine bond was formed between Ray, Pete, and later on with all the members of the Musketeers. Let's be honest, Ray would not have made it far in that movie if not for Pete. Pete saved him multiple times, encouraged him, and even at some point was willing to give up his own life for him. There was a particular moment that hit me when Ray told Pete something like, "Don't act like you won't be happy if I got shot." At that point, Ray had already received 3 warnings and he was at the edge of death. That was painful, and I feel he was talking out of frustration. Despite all that, Pete still showed up for Ray at the weakest moment. That was when I knew that friendship was real. After Olson died, Pete still went around asking people to help Olson's wife. In a place that was designed to strip people of their humanity, Pete still chose to be compassionate, and that is why I love the character so much. Do you guys also remember that moment when Ray told Pete about his plan to unalive the general if he won? Pete advised him not to, telling him that vengeance is never enough. But then what I don't understand is why Pete himself had to unalive the general at the end of the movie when he won. Maybe it's because of grief, or maybe Pete just wanted to give Ray one final victory by carrying out his deepest wish. I would also love to hear your thoughts on this, so drop on the comment section. Why do you think Pete ended up unaliving the general at the end of the movie? Now, equating this to real life scenario, one thing I picked up is that we all need that one person that is always going to be there for us no matter what. If you don't have that person, I hope you find that person soon. If you do, make sure you don't lose them. Number 2, the need for social acceptance. Let's talk about Bartovich for a moment. Bartovich was this character that gave the high school bully vibes. He was not evil or heartless, but personally, I think he was deeply flawed and desperate for acceptance. I say this because most things he did and said at the beginning of the movie hinted towards this. It all caught up with him when Rank died because of him. Even though it wasn't intentional, it shook him mentally. The hate he received afterward, especially from Pete, destroyed him. Again, that moment after Olson died, when Pete was asking everyone if they'll be willing to help Olson's wife, Bartovich was not asked. That rejection mattered. He had to walk up to Ray and started explaining that he wants to be involved and how everybody should have a body, how he does not want to die hated. I really felt bad for him at that point. Unfortunately, he ended things shortly after that. Every human being wants to feel accepted. Rejection doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet and deadly. Number 3, winning does not always mean freedom. At one point in the movie, Ray and Pete had a conversation that explains a lot. Ray says something like, when a system corners you into doing something, it makes it look like the honorable choice. That line is key. As Pete later says, the system claims the long walk is a choice, but nobody in that world knows anyone who has not signed up for the lottery. So, is it really a choice or just pressure designed as honor? Also, there is this contradiction. They say don't make friends on the long walk, but yet it's friends that help people go far. Ray survived a lot because of Pete. The Musketeers lasted because of their bond. But in the end, the same friendship makes victory empty. You are left asking the hardest question in the movie. I have won, but at what cost? 4, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. If you ask me, the Musketeers were the only ones who truly lived during the walk. The destination offered nothing but loneliness, and their friendship gave meaning to their respective final moments. Equating the long walk to real life, sometimes we are overly fixated at arriving at that destination. We are so concerned about achieving that goal that we forget to live in the moment. You need to remember that life is not just about the destination, it's about the journey, those little moments. Learn to live them fully. Number 5, courage is not the absence of fear. It is walking through it. I respect every single person who was present at the long walk. It takes so much courage to show up for something like that. And the fact that every single one of them gave it their all is so inspirational. Courage is taking one step forward even when everything inside you screams to stop. The Long Walk isn't just a movie, it's a psychological mirror. It asks what you would sacrifice, who you would become under pressure, and what would still matter when everything else is taken away. I would also love to hear what you learned from the movie or your opinion on certain things. Feel free to drop a comment. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. That is all for now. Until we meet again.